Cymatics just dropped their most recent pack, Slayer, selling 1,610 copies in 2 weeks, netting at least $476,000 from a single sound kit. In this video, I'm going to break down the exact business model that Cymatics has used to make over $15 million from sound kits. And you're going to learn the key takeaways that you can instantly implement into your production business. I did also want to mention that these powerful money-making strategies can be used for samples and beats, not just to sell sample packs. So make sure you stick around for these gems. To understand how one sound kit can make almost $500,000, you need to understand what Cymatics is doing differently from everyone else. So to do this, we're going to analyze the launch of their most recent pack, Slayer. Slayer is a giant multi-genre production suite that features 19 different kits. They also offer 17 free bonuses, which includes additional sound kits, trainings, and even a free VST. This is an irresistible offer that's very hard to say no to. And I gotta give it to the team at Cymatics because practically the whole producer community knows how good their sounds are. Every product is insane and it keeps producers coming back. This is absolutely the reason that they've had so much success over the years. If there's anything to learn from this, is that the quality of your music itself will literally sell the packs for you without much marketing at all. So this should be where the majority of your time goes. Now, there were definitely a lot of unique strategies that were used in the launch of Slayer to help drive more sales, so let's go over those. First off, I wanted to point out the matching aesthetic for every single pack. The colors, the text, it all plays a role in making the bundle seem ginormous and also luxury at the same time. It's important to know that they make a separate pack for every single aspect of the bundle. This is so much better than just adding everything into one folder, because it really does make the bundle seem so much bigger, and it's actually a lot easier to understand what you're getting. They take this to the extreme by adding free bonuses as well. This is something called bonus stacking, and the whole idea is to make it seem like you're getting an insane amount of value compared to the actual price that you're paying. And let me be clear, they actually do charge way less than they could, which is going to seem crazy when I tell you the actual price of the bundle. Because of the tremendous amount of sounds and value they're providing, they can charge a premium price of $297 every single copy of the bundle, but the actual value of every pack and every bonus is around $1,715. So you definitely get a good deal, and I encourage you to do this with your products. This would be something you wouldn't be able to explain to your audience if you didn't have these individual packs broken down that are easier to understand. A good rule of thumb is to charge 5 to 10 times less than the total value of your product. In this case, they charged 6 times less than they could have. But here's where things can get crazy, because they also offer exclusive upsell packs for $25 and $67. This means they can make at most $389 per customer, which is an insane amount. This is very important because most producers can't charge $297 for a pack of beats or sounds. If you add in upsells while someone's buying, they're way more likely to spend more. It's just like how stores put drinks and candy at the checkout. These are all supposed to be impulse buys that someone doesn't have to think about, and I can promise this will definitely make you a lot of money. I know it has for me. So realistically, the $476,000 I mentioned at the beginning of the video could easily be over $500,000 to $600,000 just for offering a few more products. Just insane, right? Now let's go over how they're able to make that much money in such a short time period. Cymatics does what's called a limited launch for all of their giant bundles, and these are starting to become a lot more popular because they clearly work. The way it works is they only offer a limited amount of copies. In this case, it's 1,750 copies. Then they pair this with a limited time frame. In this example, it's only available for 2 weeks. If you wanted to do this for yourself, you could absolutely go longer or shorter if you wanted to. These are really old marketing tricks called scarcity and urgency, and the whole point is to make someone buy away because of the fear of missing out. You know, we've all been there when that rapper says they'll pay you by Friday for that beat, but then they never do. So how do we fix that? We tell them it's only going to be available until Thursday, and then it's gone forever. If that rapper really wants it, then they'll make it happen, and I can promise that you'll close way more sales because of this. Now, it's really important to know the difference between these two terms so that you can use them successfully. Scarcity means limited copies or limited products, so in this case that'd be the limited 1,750 copies, and urgency means a limited time frame, so obviously the limited 2 weeks. Cymatics does an insanely good job of pairing these two things together to drive sales through the roof. Every time they drop a new giant bundle, demand keeps going higher and higher because everyone knows that they're going to sell out. This also acts as social proof because you can clearly see that a lot of producers are buying the bundle, and it helps build trust. But arguably the most important factor factor about this model is the ability to raise price because something is limited. There's a reason that the rarest car in the world is worth $70 million. It's because there's only one. If there were 100,000 of those cars, it would not be as valuable. This makes an insane difference compared to the normal model where producers just put up a kit on a website, because anyone can get it at any time. And this is the reason that Cymatics stands out from the crowd compared to everyone else. And it's also the reason they can charge 10 times more than most producers. Real quick, I just want to say if you're enjoying the video, then make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on more money-making tips for producers in the future. Now that we know the core components of what makes the Cymatics business model so good, we need to backtrack a little bit, because you could set all of this up just like Cymatics, but none of it will matter if you have no producers to show it to. Now, most producers overlook driving traffic to your website because it is boring, but it's the only thing that's going to make you more money unless you increase your pricing. This side of the Cymatics business is arguably the most impressive. You can see here that they get almost 2 million producers to their site every single month. If you had even a tenth of that, you can make an insane amount of money. So it's no secret that these guys know what they're doing. There are 3 main drivers that they use to get producers back to their website every single month. They use content, ads, and email marketing. These each play a different role in the process of getting customers, and I'll break down how they use each system to drive traffic back to the website. To start, we have email marketing. And this is absolutely the biggest advantage that Cymatics has over every other player in the sound kit space. Steven Cymatics once said they had over 1.4 million producer emails on their email list.
So I showed you my email list. We got over 1.4 million.
Now this is just insane, because at the click of a button they can reach 1.4 million qualified producers that are most likely to buy their kits. It's truly impossible to get that kind of reach on any social medias, and the best part is that they own the data for as long as they want. Now if you think about it, they only need 1,000 to 2,000 producers to buy these giant bundles out of 1.4 million, which they obviously do every single time. But Cymatics does do a very good job at providing value to balance everything out. This means they offer a ton of free packs, free trainings, free VSTs, you name it. This keeps the list and their audience constantly engaged in whatever they have going on. At this point, for every single launch, the majority of their buyers definitely come from their email list, which means they virtually don't have to pay anything to acquire a customer like you would have to with paid ads or affiliate marketing. Since growing this list is so important to the team at Cymatics, they pour virtually all of their marketing efforts into growing it. With short form content, they almost put out exclusively free packs for producers. They use a software called ManyChat, where you can comment any keyword and the software will DM you the download link. The goal of this is to drive producers back to the website where hopefully they'll buy, but at the very least they'll get their email in exchange for a free download so that they can market to them in the future. They also use Instagram broadcast channels to do virtually the same thing, but in a more personalized way. And lastly, we have ads, and they don't use ads like most creators do. They use it as an extension of their content and the free packs they put out, and this is just a way to reach more people that are outside of their ecosystem. They almost exclusively promote free products or the beta version of their giant bundles. This is all an effort to get producers to their site, to get the free downloads to help grow their list, just like with everything else. The other way they use ads is to help build hype around their launches, targeting their own followers or also these producers that have already bought the giant bundles before. Overall, everything is just a giant funnel that leads back to growing their email list. Now that was a lot of information to take in, obviously, and there's no way for one producer or creator to do all of this on their own. If you think about it, Cymatics has been around for almost 10 years now, and they have a team of 20 plus producers, and they also have people that are working on the business side of things. So what can a smaller creators do to make more money without having to hire a giant team? My biggest takeaway from studying Cymatics is how important an email list is. If the top companies like Cymatics and Producer Grind are putting everything into building their email list, then I would suggest everyone else should too. With AI emerging, platforms changing, and an uncertain future, the ability to own your own information is becoming more and more important. Now, you don't have to put out $300 bundles by yourself like Cymatics does to make good money off of kits and doing these limited drops. But what you can do by yourself is put out multiple smaller kits with the limited launch strategy that we talked about earlier. To make this work, each pack would have to solve a specific problem. For example, you can make a pack that helps producers mix their beats properly. This could include a mixing tutorial, presets, special effects, whatever you wanted to include to make sure producers can get their mix better. So anything that could help solve that problem. Depending on your audience size, you can limit this to 50 to 100 copies and price it a lot higher because it's limited and it solves a specific problem. Take some of these strategies that they use and just do it on a much smaller scale, and you can still find success. Lastly, you have to focus on your product. It's one of the fastest ways to scale. Like I said, if your product is amazing, then producers will tell other producers for you. This means you don't have to do much marketing at all, and I know a lot of producers don't like doing marketing in the first place. You can also charge more and create create a higher demand for your limited launches if they're always good. Even though it's harder to do more work on the product initially, it saves you way more time trying to promote it on the back end. We covered a lot of insane marketing tips in this video, but if you're just starting out and you're looking for an easier way to make money as a producer, then watch my last video where I break down the 3 best ways to make your first $10,000 and above as a producer.